So you guys are discussing what to do with these Pegasi.
Nothing.
You
They're too far away.
Plan?
Well, you see, I could take off all my clothes, jump into the river, pretend to be a duckman, quack, 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 quack. Very, very convincing, I think. And then I have a lasso. I get the foal. Maybe. I'm not very great with the lasso, but I give it 50-50 if I get close enough. And then you guys would have to scare off the mare. But in that case, we get a foal.
You regret not taking rope use now, eh? For the lasso.
That's fine. I can still throw it, it's just bad.
So what do you guys think of Angus's brilliant idea?
Get all three across the river that way, but no, let's not.
Okay.
Mainly because I think I see them flying off right now. So
Yeah, probably.
we've been discussing this for a little while.
Yeah, probably they've gone. They certainly would as soon as you tried to cross the river.
Even as a disguised duck?
Well, that might have worked.
It's just nice to know they're here. We might be able to go after one
I
later.
can't lie, it might have worked. It's just dumb enough.
It's a proper, we could do a proper hunt for that later.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that they're there.
But
So-
yeah, I'll just continue going back to any reeds and stuff that are edible and small tracks for things that I can hunt without being poached.
You can certainly gather enough food for yourself.
Yeah.
Very easily. You could do some actual hunting or tracking rolls if you want.
I'll do tracking rolls just to see if there's any small little animals.
Yeah.
That's a 6, so no.
Okay. You don't notice anything in the tall grass.
Yeah.
Among the thistles.
Probably these lands are being hunted by the mercenaries, that's why. Makes sense.
I don't think those mercenaries are very competent.
Angus doesn't say that. He thinks it's been hunted by mercenaries. There's no tracks.
So, you arrive at Hohenfeld, eventually. It's been probably about an hour walking. Actually, no, it's probably longer. It's probably about an hour and 20 minutes because of your delays with tracking and arguing over whether you should kill Pegasus and being stopped by mercenaries. Which means that after the dawn and you guys spend time at the camp, it's probably about 9 o'clock. Does that sound fair?
That's fair.
About that. So, town of Hohenfeld is fairly standard. It's a cluster of the same sort of whitewashed Tudor-era buildings that we've seen elsewhere with sort of tall grass thatching. Surrounding it is a number of fields. Some of them are fallow. Some of them are being sowed with beans or other early and spring vegetables and plants. There are smaller gardens for berries or other vegetables in the town as well.
Is there many guards about patrolling these fields? Are there many people?
Well, that's what I wanted to say next, is that the biggest thing that you guys notice is that there's a large crowd of peasants around something near the sort of the outskirts of town.
Ooh, interesting. Let's go.
So, would it be feasible to kind of pick up some of these vegetables along the way?
You want to steal them?
Yes. If
They aren't being watched very well, so yes. They haven't grown yet, I should say that.
Oh.
You're seeing the sprouts of beans.
It is spring.
It is mid-spring.
Okay, so the vegetables aren't ripe
Yeah.
then.
So with agriculture, you grow crops in the spring, crops in the summer, crops in the fall, and they're usually harvested at the end of those seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So they've planted the spring crops. There are probably some shepherds herding sheep or goats or cattle along sort of grazeland around this village, because there is freed up grazeland. Those are being watched.
Yes.
Reluctantly by young farm boys who would much rather be taking part in whatever's going on, presumably.
So we pass by any that are close? As we're going down the road, any of them near the road, just within calling distance, you're hey, what's going on in the town?
Sure, there is one. Yeah, there's a young blonde boy with some long hair under his eyes.
Young man, what is going on in the town over there?
It's, what you call it? Vivisex.
Oh,
They got a body, they're cutting it up.
interesting, thank you.
Woo! Let's go.
Okay.
Oh, I'm excited.
You like cut up bodies? That's strange.
Nope, not interested in that at all. More interested in why it's there.
Ah,
You sure are curious, you.
he's a wizard. He's supposed to be curious. That's what they do.
I'm learning many things about these wizards.
You wanted to find a wizard for a specific reason. You should know what they do, don't you? Remind me, what was that reason why you wanted to find them?
Hey, come
Oh,
on,
later,
hurry up.
later.
They're going to be done cutting it up by the time you guys get here.
One day. One day.
So you hear a thin voice sort of loping above the crowds, which are hushed. Every now and then there's a disgusted groan from them, or a laugh, discussing the various body parts the production of bile and phlegm and blood, how those are affected by different temperatures, what each organ does in the body. Probably go around the outskirts of this because it's much easier than trying to push through it.
Screw that.
You just gonna push through?
Gonna try to.
Okay, you try to push through and end up crushed somewhere in the middle of the crowd, unable to see anything, but very hot and bothered.
Wait, did you try and take the cart to the crowd?
No.
Okay, good.
Every now and then you see like
I'm
a
staying in the
tall,
cart.
sort of black cap at the outskirts, or like a stick waving around.
I'm gonna try to skirt the crowd to see if I can get a better view.
Yes, you, by skirting the crowd, get to see the good doctor, who is a very gaunt, high cheekbone, pale man with sort of greasy black hair, wearing a sort of tall black felt sort of cap, brimmed cap, not brimmed around like a farmer's cap would be, or farmer's hat would be, or like a baseball cap brim is, but pinned up against the sides of the hat. He has a knife in one hand and a pointing stick in the other, and is in the process of pulling out sort of the intestines of a dead man as you turn the corner, pointing out the different parts and explaining how it sort of digests food and transforms that food into the different sort of elemental bodies, which creates the different sort of four fluids that make up a person's sort of personality and health. The body is sort of spread with arms and legs pulled on ropes between sort of against the framework of a house, which is becoming bloody in the process. Although no one's complaining about it, so it's interesting.
Yes, this definitely looks like some form of punishment. I'm going to probably head back to the cart and try to get us moving along.
Do you want to scan the body for other injuries? The parts that you can see, the arms and legs that haven't been cut open yet, or his head?
No, I'm pretty content thinking that this is a some form of punishment,
Right.
and not so much like a murdered body or a victim.
Mm-hmm. There are definitely guards like at the front of the crowd, keeping everybody pushed back in their sort of yellow and red uniforms. Although they're sort of chatting friendly enough with the farmers of this village that there's no tension between the two.
So I might see Thus trying to make his way through the crowd, or coming out of the crowd at that point.
So as you are about to turn, the good doctor, presumably the doctor, sort of flicks his stick in the air, swatting at some of the flies that have begun to sort of coalesce on the body, the reeking body.
Mm-hmm.
It's bloating and rotting in the sun, and then begins pulling out sort of the liver and explaining that it holds, I believe, black bile, but it's been a long time since I've done research on medieval medicine, so I could very easily be wrong.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
it's pretty gross.
head back.
Don't worry, he's not touching the eyeballs.
Yet.
So as I see Klaus, I'll...
So Klaus is in the middle of the crowd. It will be hard for you to find him. I believe Angus is sort of at the back still.
I'm with the cart. I'm like far back.
At the
Like
back,
I'm visibly discomforted by this.
Okay.
Okay, so then I'll just head back to the cart.
Yeah, it's easier to meet up with Angus.
Trying to push my way
It's,
out.
That's
yes,
easier.
It looks like it's a some form of punishment. He must be a criminal.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that we want to spend the night here. These kind of men on edge.
I don't particularly want to. You have to pay money to stay in the city. We can always camp outside and hunt.
I don't know what this wizard fellow prefers. I don't know if is he a city slicker?
He's soft. Look at him, skin all papery white. He doesn't get out much.
That's what I was thinking.
As you guys discuss the appearance of your recent unfamiliar companion, you see him push, sort of red-faced, out of the crowd.
God. That wasn't fun.
Yes,
Maybe once I can climb up onto the cart, look over the crowd. Oh, much better.
You get a good view from here. It's hard to hear what he's saying, but you get a good view.
Oh my god. 1 copper piece for a spot of the cart.
He's actually taken one of the lungs out and made an incision in the esophagus, and is using a metal mouthpiece to blow air into and out of the lungs.
That's certainly an interesting individual.
Expand and collapse.
Guards seem to be okay with it, though. Can I spot anything about the body from here?
Yes, there is purple marks around the neck.
Ah, good old hanging victim. Well, that sounds interesting. I want to talk with that guy, given the lecture after if I get a chance. Maybe figure out why the guy was killed in the first place. He's definitely dead.
Yes, isn't it just safe to assume he's just another criminal?
Yeah, but
every
it's still he did something.
every barony has different rules that govern what is criminal, what is not criminal. Understanding what is criminal is important to not being a criminal.
If he stole this village's cows, I could just buy new cows and bring them over, and we'll make a lot of money. So I need to know these things.
Essel is sort of whinnying nervously and flicking his tail back and forth.
Oh gosh,
There are flies on his eyes.
we should get the cart at least farther into town. We got a couple of questions. So, any people?
It seems like you may not find people who are interested for a little while.
Yeah, there's probably guards or something on the other end of town that I want to go talk to.
Okay.
I need a volunteer from the audience.
How many people's hands go up?
There's a few.
Yeah.
Alright, never mind. You guys take the car and go to the end of town. I gotta see what's happening. But this time, we'll do it from the others.
So you circle around just in time to see a young boy get called up.
Dr. God.
And the good doctor hands him the mouthpiece and tells him to blow into it while grabbing hold of the murdered man's face and changing the position of his mouth to try and make different sounds to show how talking works. Doesn't quite manage to make the dead body say any words, but the crowd understands what he's doing.
Quite the display. Unless there's a market for selling him dead bodies, I doubt we need to be here. We need farther than this, though. I know a bunch of mercenaries who are all going to die soon.
I'll definitely be leading the cart, giving a wiper to the crowd.
Yeah.
Sure. Best I can.
The inside of the town is empty, deserted, practically, yeah. The buildings are built around a sort of courtyard with a large stone well. The courtyard is stone floored, strangely, not dirt like you would expect to see, I imagine.
This place was known for its textiles and mainly hemp rope.
Hemp rope and duck meat, yeah. Presumably they grow hemp crops in the fields.
Yeah, which
Right,
can
I
be
forgot
made
about
into things other than rope as well.
Yeah, they have other things. They grow food too, they're independent.
Is there a tailor or clothing maker shop in town?
There is one, yes.
That is the one place I want to stop.
You poke your head in to find a woman there who tells you that he's out.
Watching the display.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem too happy about it.
I am sort of curious about that display, if you don't mind me asking. Who's the man in black?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, the man in black, sorry, I thought you meant the victim. That was dumb of me. That was my failure as a DM. Shit.
I'm okay with either answer.
Yeah, no, she says he's a doctor. I can't remember what his name is.
So, not a local.
No, he's from the east, I think. Hammerholm, maybe?
Oh joy! Shit. And the victim?
Oh, I don't know him either. He snuck into town and tried to steal something, I think. Got into a fight with the guards.
Oh, thank you for your time. I'll try and get the owner.
Did you want to buy anything?
I'm interested in what you sell, or more specifically, if you could sell something.
She grins broadly and cracks her knuckles and starts leading you through the store. She explains that they mostly do make to order, but they have a few basic dresses and shirts and stuff that they've been working on. They have a lot of raw textiles if you wanted to buy those too, although they prefer to work with them and sell them.
You do uniforms?
They can, she says.
I know a particular group of mercenaries that are currently without uniforms. Although I haven't spoken to their commander about it. It seemed like an interesting or a potential business venture.
Surcoats certainly are easy to make.
That or pants for a duck, but those are the only two things I really need.
Angus is currently flipping off Klaus. At least the players are flipping off each other.
If Angus was there, he would also be flipping off. With verbal flip-offs as well.
I don't need pants. I've got a kilt on.
But other than knowing that you can do the venture, unfortunately I don't have any business at this time. Sorry. Thank you for your time.
I'm not doing anything.
Still, it's always nice to have a polite woman answer my questions. The last one was very rude.
She sort of laughs. Does really?
Yeah, speaking of, you may have seen her travel through town here. Red cloak, blonde hair, doesn't talk much.
Didn't see her.
I was hoping she made it at least this far, but...
Is she an ex of yours, or...?
No, just someone I tried to help, and it was very rude. Grumble and make my way back inside.
Are you a mercenary, then? You said you were looking for uniforms.
Nope, just a merchant who saw a potential opportunity to play the middleman and make some coin.
Well, if you find any food or furniture, there's always business for it here.
What type of food?
Well, anything, really. There's so many refugees running around.
You're running low?
Yeah, a little bit. That's what I think that thief was trying to steal, if I remember correctly.
The duck hunt's not going well? Isn't this place known for its duck meat?
We have some.
But not enough? I'll keep that in mind. I'm heading back this way either tomorrow or later today.
Good.
Hope for the best. Thank you.
Good luck!
Now I leave.
Lovely.
Oh,
Let's
you
go
do
talk to
fletching.
Sarah.
Well, you can make furniture. Just have you in the back of the car with a hammer, making some chairs for them.
Yeah, furniture and tools.
Makes sense.
It's kind of the stuff they make in cities more, for cheaper.
Then,
And also things you might need for refugees to house them.
It's true. Yeah, that's
And
also-
put them to work.
Put them to work, yeah, exactly. Basic supplies are in high demand right now.
just if she can make tents too. Darn.
Oh my god, we could have had the covered caravan.
No, I
Done in one.
meant more for the fact that the mercenaries might need tents. They're assholes, but they might give me money if they have any.
There was definitely one or two, like lean-tos practically
Yeah,
set up. in
they
the
didn't
tent.
sound like they had a lot.
They didn't.
So, equipping them for all of their money and then watching them die horribly
Yeah.
will be very sensible.
They were definitely rough. I think saying they were also ready might be a bit of a stretch.
Alright, let's head out towards the northern end of town. I still want to see if any of the guards or anybody else in town has seen our red-cloaked woman. Because I'm kind of hoping she made it at least this time. And wasn't eaten.
Or she might have taken the bridge across the water.
That's true. She might have just forked off, but
She's from the north, though.
When you reach the town square, finally, like you can see the sort of stone manor for the first floor and wood for the others. There's a small stone wall sort of around the place. It's not, saying a fence would probably be more accurate. It's a sort of ditch and rampart with a low 3-foot tall dry stone wall around it. Maybe some stakes in the ditch here and there. So you see the sort of keep where the Ritter presumably lives, and you also see the church, local church. There's an inn as well, which I could name for you if you want.
avoid the church.
Yeah, who likes churches, right?
It's where the Inquisition comes from.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, well,
Plus, this far north, I'm not sure which church it is.
Also 90% of charity, if not more.
Do you really want to pray to the wrong pope in this church? I don't want to.
It shouldn't be that hard to find out which the proper Grossvater is.
why would you pray to the Pope? Pray to the God.
Yeah, there's two
That's
popes.
also very true.
It's two popes for one god.
I think that's actually heresy to pray to the Pope, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah, you'd be guilty.
Well,
Let's just avoid it on principle.
I think they let you slide the first time. I read a book like that once.
I don't need to do it right now, so let's avoid it right now.
It's just light torture. So, what did you want to do? There's some guards here you could ask, probably one maybe.
Yeah, I am interested to know about who the person currently being cut up in the middle of town is, and to see if they're red cloak lady.
They explain he's from out of town. They found him sneaking into the sort of food storage for the town and tried to get him out, and he attacked one of the guards and tried to kill them, they say, and so he got the death sentence. The fact that Dr. Madhouse was walking through town is just coincidence.
You thought he'd put on a bit of a show?
Mhm.
Do you know anything about this Dr. Madhouse?
Not much. He's from Thracia, I think. The Swartzump, I mean.
Okay. Woo! Last minute name change.
Yeah, it's rough. Whatever.
At least now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, right? He's from Italy.
Okay.
I assume you passed on the fact that they're looking for food.
Yeah, I will as soon as we leave town.
Sure.
Yeah, so they're looking for food, which might be a more common occurrence in a couple of the towns we run into moving north. It just means we can't go back to the capital and buy more because there's a bunch of mercenaries trying to steal all the food.
Well,
right
the
outside.
thing is, most of the refugees are going to be coming from the east, and going north is dangerous because you have more horsemen and things like that up there. So there might actually be more food up there that we could bring back down. Maybe, I don't
We
know.
might get lucky, but the point is look out for food or sources if you happen to hunt something big or find a
Well.
herd of deer.
Well,
And then don't ask. Don't tell them.
but they will, when we're selling it to them, say, "Isn't that deer meat?"
Yeah.
It's many rabbits, so many rabbits.
Rabbit steak.
It was a big rabbit.
Also, we have antlers from
unrelated.
jackalopes. Yeah.
North.
North.
So as we move out of town, I'd like to make a tracking check to see if I can figure out which tracks are from that lady's horse.
Right.
So I assume she'd be going pretty fast, so I might be able to pick out recent
Speed.
fresh.
Yeah. Fresh tracks that are at a wide pace. Yeah.
So I got a 15. I have my the tracking skill. And then is there a
Wisdom.
wisdom associated with that?
Yeah. Wisdom would be it, probably. And you add your proficiency modifier to it as well. If you have it.
Because I'm trained
Proficient,
in
yeah.
that. Gotcha. So that would be 19 then.
19, you do actually spot them, yeah. The dirt road is muddy, and not so muddy that you're sticking in it, fortunately. And there are lots of fairly heavy tracks in it, but those are all fairly worn and flooded, whereas hers are identifiably more fresh. You think you could follow her if you wanted to.
So I think that woman headed this way. If you really want to...
I'm
Keep
kind of
track of
interested in where she's going.
On this single road.
Yeah. And making sure she gets through okay.
Astonishing work, my friend.
She was stopped by one group at least on the way. I don't like just throwing her out there. She made it down this far. She'll probably make it back to wherever she came from.
To be honest, I think she's more capable than all three of us. And that's kind of why I wanted to travel with her.
Real reasons aside. I'm just... Might as well keep track of her if I can. If she splits off, I'm not fun.
I'll try to pay attention to the trail and see if we follow her tracks or if she splits off somewhere.
If she does split off and doesn't follow the roads anymore, that might be interesting because she might know somewhere we don't.
That would be interesting.
Are rabbits beasts?
Technically.
Yes.
Cool. So, do I get benefits from favorite enemy for tracking?
Yes.
What are those benefits?
I'll think of them.
You double your proficiency.
Yeah, you double your proficiency bonus. Cool. So you get 4.
I will also do tracking once we're like outside of town, so not near the crops or anything like that. Between this one and the next one, just again looking for anything small like runs where animals might go. I can set up snares.
You might want to do that inside of track near the crops too.
But the thing is, like, I'm planning on like setting snares and then keep going. Then when I come back, if there's anything,
If something's eating these guys who are already low on food crops, we might be able to.
well, the issue is I think they might find them. They might go through the crops and see them and just take them. And I also don't want them to think I'm stealing food because apparently that's a real bad thing in this town.
Yeah, that's fair. You get cut off by a doctor.
Okay, I failed again. Great.
Okay. You don't find any
Yeah.
tracks on the road.
9. So
Or in the brush. Your heavy webbed feet unfortunately trample the grass down and cover any, presumably.
still eating grubs and everything as I go.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You're fine.
I offer grubs to the both of you. Hey, do you want grubs? I found some nice reeds too.
You kill a snake, you can offer to them raw.
Oh, it's delightful.
We can cook
I
that
know you
later.
don't like that elf.
We can just cook that later.
We'll keep the skin too.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have let you kill a snake.
Oh well, that was a mistake.
Yeah, I know, you're doing too well.
Snake soup with the snake leather belt. There we go.
The road continues along the riverway, passing by a water wheel mill, which has a handful of sort of farms built nearby it. It's not anywhere close to being a town. It's like 2 families, maybe 3, if you count the mill as being a separate family.
I mean, yeah, we can stop in for a sec.
It's on the far side of the river.
Oh, okay.
There are some islands across the riverway here that allows for a number of bridges to be built. It's thinned out a bit as well. It's not quite as far across. So you could cross the bridge towards this mill if you wanted to.
But the tracks don't show that.
Oh, the tracks go right past the bridge. Yeah.
Let's not do it this way. We can stop by here on the way back, maybe? Yeah, we'll do it on the way back.
One thing you notice while you're tracking along the side of the road as you continue past the mill is in the fields along the way, you spot a band of humans. They might be elves, maybe, or hobgoblins or something similar in build, but humanoids, certainly. Not like minotaurs or something like that, or orcs even. Not
Or
big enough.
duckmen.
Bipedal humanoid with the
About
similar
5'5"
profile to
to
the
the
human.
10. They're unarmored. One has a crossbow. The others are carrying sort of short sticks. Look like they're sort of hunting. You are.
Makes sense. Watch things out.
They aren't beating the grass with the sticks. They're just holding them.
Okay, that's strange. So like ramshackle spears.
As you watch, one of them puts one of the sticks to their mouth, toward the sky, and then lowers it and like checks to see if something happens by putting their hands.
Oh, blow darts. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fancy. Why wouldn't you just use a sling? Very inefficient. I don't any heed.
Okay.
I'm not going to invade their territory for hunting.
The sort of doldrum of riding a cart along this pathway is interrupted by the clatter of hoofbeats in the distance as a silhouette rides at the distance towards you from the line of your sight over a hill.
Pull off.
You think it's that lady?
I don't know, but if it's an armored knight, I sure as hell want to be ready to bow, so let's pull off and get out of the way.
Wow, you grovel before a knight.
I
You
usually get away with that.
pull off the road to see a man dressed in the heraldry of Junaluska that is green and yellow with bat sigils on his breast, ride pell-mell past you without stopping to say hello or a word.
From where, sorry?
Flendemausfeld. It's the barony beyond Urshelberg where you're going, which is
So
currently
two barons.
The one with the bat swarms.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. There are bats there. They don't always swarm. Sometimes they do. It's not the best.
50-50.
Yeah.
The elf, Jack. You've been tracking our lady friend going in one direction. Do you mind tracking him in the opposite as we continue forward?
Yeah, of course. Want me to make another roll?
I'd be interested in figuring out what he was on about, and maybe if he, joined the road at a different point.
19 again.
Must be nice being able to track.
Yeah.
I am trained in it.
I am also trained in it. And I have expertise in the things I'm tracking.
Yeah, it shows.
The two sets overlap at times, confusing things, but judging by the directionality of the hooves, you can kind of tell whose are whose most of the time, if you feel confident. And certainly you don't see either of them leave the road, as far as you can tell.
Well, I can pick up his trail pretty easily, and I'll let you know if it differs.
Thank you.
We're coming up on that town that you said you wanted to sell the trinkets to.
Potentially, although it would be better if I had any exotic trinkets in my bag.
So you approach the town nestled among a series of hills from the south. You see a large inn, sort of almost creating a wall along this. It doesn't have the stone walls that the last time you went to had. Being built on the side of a hill, you can kind of almost make out the street pattern of it, and you can see the entirely wooden, quite grand manor of the local lord. On the eastern side of this town, you can just make out a camp of sort of mostly undyed or makeshift tents, which have large crowds gathered around them.
So I'd like to take a look to see if it looks like the tracks came from that area, or if there were the tracks heading, like the hoof tracks, heading towards that area, or if they went more towards the town.
If you had to guess, both sets of hooves went through this town.
Okay. So I'll relay that information. So looks like the horses both came and went from the town.
Sure. We got mercenary camp, or do we got refugees?
Almost certainly refugees.
That's what I was leaning to. Well, then we're probably going to find much food on this particular
Well, we have a snake to trade.
Hey man, snake soup would get us in good with the refugees.
The reason why Jay was laughing there was because I was shaking my hand in the air as if I was throttling a snake, holding it up.
One snake for sale, one snake for sale.
No skin.
No, we keep skin, but we skin in front of you, shot fresh.
Well, in that case, how can I say no?
Let's head to town. If we can take a gate through, or kind of interested in the refugees too.
Yeah, just to ask what they need.
Well, it seems like what they need right now is some protection because the crowd gathering around the sort of tent city, camp, small camp, are wearing the uniforms of Deckendorf and are all wielding spears and shields.
Ooh, well, that's an interesting way to welcome refugees.
Maybe we should avoid the refugee camp. We are merchants merely passing through.
I'd like to witness, or at least figure out what's going on. Hey, soldier!
They're on the opposite side of town from you guys. You'll have to
Oh.
kind of travel through the town to get there. Sorry if I didn't make that clear.
I probably just didn't pay that attention. In that case, we can ask gate guards what the hell's going on.
The guards?
Yeah.
The town's pretty empty right now. There's no guards on the streets here. There are some sort of general peasants and craftspeople going about their daily life. Although most of them seems fairly sparse, and those who are doing their stuff seem nervous.
No, I'll grab the nearest craftsman.
Sure, you grab a Cooper. He's rolling a barrel around. He's young. He's 15.
Hey, kid. What's going on? Kid.
I say, young man, to stroke your ego.
The lords
Fine from him.
telling the folks there to move on.
With all of his men? Okay, that's fair, I guess.
It's about time you did something.
Why, have they been here for a while?
Most of the winter.
Just to dwindle on supplies type of thing? Or have there been incidents, unrest,
They're all a bunch of thieves, aren't they?
stealing barrels? You seemed quite angry about that.
No, not barrels, but things go missing, right? Nice
Such
pair of
as?
hose or, I don't know, things. I've never had anything stolen.
Alright. Well, hey, have you been working on this street for a while? Last couple of hours type of thing? I'm looking for someone who made it come through.
Well, I've been in the shop mostly, but maybe I saw them.
Woman with blonde hair and a red cloak heading north?
Blonde?
Yeah.
She's in there. Points to the tavern, like right next door.
That makes that easy.
I'll lean over the elf. Well, let's just let him go in and we'll wait outside with the cart. Good luck, my friends.
How about, I don't know, what are they called? Knight or something? Or some messenger?
Yeah, it was probably a courtier for one of the richer up there. Or just some kind of servant.
With a bat on his chest heading south.
Maybe? I don't know.
It's-
There have been a few horses running through.
Alright.
Anyway, I got work to do. Go away.
Oh, gee.
Thank you for your time, young man. You are very helpful.
It's a bit short. I probably could have phrased that better. Oh well.
Shoot the messenger. Why don't you?
So, I gotta roll this barrel uphill.
Yeah, do it in both directions.
Oh my god, do you have to move barrels? We have a cart. And there's Angus, wheeling and dealing.
We could, but this 15-year-old kid is not going to pay us anything to do that.
So, are you
Hey
going to
guys,
the bar?
let's get some lunch. Early lunch.
I've been eating all day. I'll wait with the cart.
Fair
So
enough.
then I'll head in.
Wonderful.
Actually, you know what? I need a minute before I head in. Let's find somewhere we can get out of the public eye. Look around this deserted street. Right here should do.
Perfect.
A little more out of the way than that.
Yeah. It's a small village.
You get the point.
It's hard to hide.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't be too difficult with the fact that no one's in town right now. Disguise the fact I'm going to be casting magic for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. I kind of saw that coming.
Oh dear god, I get off the cart. Are you near the cart? I'm going to take the cart away.
I don't need to do it near the card. I can definitely get us out.
These carts are life savings now.
But yeah, let's do
So where-
comprehend language.
Where did
when
you
we
say
get
you were
a
hiding?
chance.
Near a tree?
Anywhere
in an
nearby.
alley?
Somewhere nearby.
There are like houses that you can like go in between.
No, wouldn't work well enough.
Yeah.
Keep my back to the street, cover what I'm doing. It's not like it's obvious otherwise.
Okay.
And take a second to do that full ritual. You want the description? Are you okay?
I'd like to hear it a second time just because I don't remember it personally.
Sure. It's a fairly simple description. You take a small strip of paper that's rolled up, maybe an inch thick and like wide type of thing. And write understand on it in Wormish, I believe is the language you called on it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I bothered naming that one. In
Don't
hindsight,
It worked.
especially because Dwarfish is still called Dwarfish, like 100%.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Ah.
Dwarfish sounds nice, especially in like a German accent. You can do the V. That's
Anyway, write understand on it.
Mhm.
Drop it into a small copper pot, which I then put a bit of water out of my water skin into.
Yep.
And run the top of probably my left index finger over one of my blades for a second. And drop
Nice.
some blood in there too. As soon as the blood hits the water, the entire thing freezes, and then it doesn't thaw into water again. It kind of crimples into snow, which is a weird thing that you wouldn't visualize very easily. But it's the best I got. You then take your hand, put it into the snow, rub it over your ears for hear, and over your eyes for read.
Okay.
And then the whole thing melts into water and drink the rest of the
I
water.
presume you do both of those during the ritual.
Yeah, that's the entire ritual. Ends with you drinking the rest of the water.
I mean, the eyes and the ears. You don't like choose.
No, you do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do both.
Okay. I feel like I understand well enough that it kind of just looks like you're praying
Pretty much.
or like cleaning yourself in the afternoon. That even if someone does see you, they aren't going to get.
Yeah.
Easily disguisable.
Yeah.
It's not Ian's weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be
I haven't
hanging
done
around
Find
there.
Familiar
maybe.
yet. That's a lot weirder.
Her horse is actually like tied up around the back of the inn.
I'll probably be hanging out with the wizard while he's casting a spell. Maybe I'm doing my own kind of prayer ritual kind of thing.
It
What
was
does that look
conspicuous until you had the weird elf standing beside you. Now we must roll.
I'm sitting there cross-legged,
I hate you.
picking up handfuls of dirt and smelling them and blowing them out into the wind.
Roll with an advantage.
you just fuck dirt. What the hell?
Most of the peasants who see you probably just think you're simple, which is fine. So you have successfully cast Comprehend Language and are now prepared to talk to a girl.
Well, I'm now prepared to get talked at by a girl because I still can't speak her language.
Right.
That's a different spell altogether. But yeah, I'll head in to the tavern.
She is making the best of what I would call broth with some oats in it, and maybe a half of a piece of stale bread. I know, a whole half, Jay, a whole half.
Alrighty,
The inn's pretty much empty except for her. It's not surprising considering the time and that there's kind of things going on in this town.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna make my way over to her,
Mhm.
pull the cheese ration I have in my pouch out.
There's the barkeep, quote unquote, is a girl of about 17, with her hair in sort of brown locks, who looks nervous.
Just smile pleasantly at her. I don't look weird at all, so that's not disturbing.
Can I get you anything?
What she is having looks pretty good.
Right, 4 copper.
Count it out and hand it over.
There was some lovely facial expressions there for up close.
Yeah, she's ripping me off.
Well, that or they don't have much food.
Yes, which is why I paid her at all. Didn't argue with this.
You do get a whole bun.
Whole bun. Cut my cheese ration in half and pass half of it to our woman in red here as I sit down and say, hello again. Still can't understand.
She sees the cheese enter her field of vision and looks confused, turns to look at you and opens wide-eyed and says, You followed me!
Yes, I did. Well, actually, we're just heading in the same direction.
I still don't know what you're saying. No. That part's in lines here, in case you can guess.
Do you know nothing else besides no?
She quickly starts eating her soup.
Gosh, this is going to be fun. Pull out a piece of paper. Let's do the whole map thing.
Okay. Technically, she could also say centaur, just because of the way the language works. It's the one other word that I've determined.
Is the sage.
Well, has a meaning. Might actually be relevant. I mean, Lansnir centaur means centaur. know what involved centaur means horseman. So it's not the same thing, but the word's the same.
Charades. Over.
It might be easier if you just explain what you're drawing rather than taking the time to draw it.
Yeah, but you get to react to it better if it's genre.
That is true.
Okay, the point is, drew a big city with a little crown over it, hopefully indicating the capital that we started at, and then drew the next town up, and then the next town up after that, which should be where we are. And then going to go ahead and, since I know the local area, draw the next couple in here,
Okay.
and just kind of indicated each one to see if she reacts to any of them, to figure out where the hell she's going.
She looks down at the map and looks at you and draws a big X on the top. If she can take your marker.
Yeah, I
Um,
hand it to her.
I don't know if you're using charcoal or something. Actually, she doesn't draw an X. She starts doodling, and she ends up drawing sort of a stick figure of a person on a horse. Very roughly. And she asks, yes?
You?
No.
Going there?
Yes.
Why here?
No. And then she says, well, maybe they are.
Okay, point at her, and then point at the capital. Why?
She points to the town two ways up and like looks at you confused.
Why did you go there yesterday, damn it, not today?
I still don't know what you're saying.
Luckily, this could
Takes
only
her
go
bun and sticks it in her soup and starts trying to squeeze it down to try and make it
Suck
less
up some
stale.
more
Yeah.
Just throw mine in.
Yeah. The broth is like chicken bones and about oats boiled in it. It's about it. It's not that exciting. There might have been some onion in there.
Okay, then point.
Yeah, you want to say something?
So while
Jack?
this is happening,
You
I think it might be advantageous for me to go speak with our horse.
Yeah.
Is he gonna actually talk to it? Hey, I'm having fun. Pissing off this lady.
So I don't know if it'd be...
I've got a great plan to make money.
You're gonna rob her?
No. I'm going to help this dude out with his problem of refugees. You don't do it by force. You convince them there's a better place to stay. Lead them off for a fee. Ditch them in the night.
You're an awful
Totally.
person.
Totally.
It's very torn.
Alright, so are you casting that as a spell or as a ritual?
So if we can retroactively do that, maybe I was casting that ritual of speaking.
Do you want to describe that again?
Yeah, so I'm kind of digging into the dirt and
Right.
trying to commune with it because the creature I want to speak with is of the ground.
Is it? It's a horse.
Yes, it's a horse.
It's not a
It
mole.
rides on the ground.
That's true.
It doesn't
Is
swim in the
is
ocean.
a bird a creature of the earth because
No, a
it
bird is a creature of
walks
the
on the
air.
ground sometimes?
But it nests on the ground, Ian. That's very rare.
Alright, you're talking to dirt. That's fine. I'll accept it. What else? It's a 10-minute ritual.
So maybe I need to taste some of that.
Okay. You're filling your mouth with soil to communicate with the animal.
That makes
I
sense.
should take notes of this.
What exactly he's doing?
I've already noted that I need to remember whether or not you clean your daggers ever. Because you're constantly cutting yourself with them.
Yep.
And I should remember that you're eating dirt sometimes. Jack eats dirt.
I eat a lot of things.
Someone's getting pinworms.
So I'm probably speaking, chanting, kind of
Quietly.
under my breath,
Yeah.
words in Elvish. Yeah, about communicating with children of the earth.
That kid with the
The
barrel
ground.
comes past while you were doing that, but he's pretty much the only one, and he wasn't looking in the alleyway you guys were hiding in. So you've cast this ritual and are going around the corner to talk to her sort of yellow, white dabbed horse. I should look up horse colors, but I actually have names. Be cool to learn.
What the difference between a gelding?
Well, no, I mean like different breeds of horses and their coloration, so that I can say quickly how they look, and I know realistically what a horse would look like depending on the breed, reasonably.
Child of hooves, I greet.
Hello? You talk strange. You talk.
Yes, that's correct. I speak your tongue, if only for a few minutes.
Okay.
Your
you want to hear a story?
your lady travel companion. She does not speak the others' languages, so it appears she has come across some more tense moments.
Okay.
Might you know where she is going, where she comes from?
We come from fields. And he gestures. It's westward.
Fields. With many people and many horses?
Yeah. Many horses. Oh, many horses. They were good days. Nice wet grass. Oh, and sometimes we get oats or apples. Ooh.
Pay attention, child of crows. We only have so much time. And you travel to the city, where there is not... there's a lot of commotion, but not many horses.
Okay.
The one with the walls.
Oh, we didn't get in there.
Yes. Do you know why you were traveling there?
No?
Of course. And now, do you travel back home, or you travel elsewhere?
We've been going, and a gesture towards the north, roughly northeast.
So you do not travel home, then?
No. Very sad.
Yes, I agree. You must be quite homesick.
Oh, don't get me started on home.
And
Oh, the cool breeze. The wide blue sky above. Oh, those were days when I was free, when I was pampered. Oh, to be a fine horse again, pampered.
for the rest of the time I have
You ever
I
been
listen
brushed?
to him
Have you
and
ever been brushed?
recount tales of home.
He certainly does tell them. You get the impression that he was part of a nomadic group on the plains, and presumably, it's actually a female horse. I didn't do a female voice for it, but
I didn't ask that.
that
question.
she was. Yeah, I know. How dare you?
Yeah.
Insulting. She was part of a fairly wealthy family in that familial group or tribe on the plains. She does talk about how she was like treated better than other horses and stuff. She brags about that.
As it ends, maybe I'll feed her some apple.
Oh, that's nice. Do you have an apple?
Yeah.
You have dry ones, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, did
She likes that.
I picked up probably some fresh apples, and then as well some other dry fruits I can.
Okay. Any other communication ideas with this lady?
Well, I mean, it's going to be 10 minutes of charades with a map, trying to figure out why she went south. I don't think I'm ever going to get there.
She's eating her bun when she stops, and she looks at you on the map again, and she points at you and points to the horse and says, yes?
One thing I know she knows. No. Not yet, anyway. There is I guess...
Then I'll be alone. She says that under her breath, in her language that you understand.
Let's try this.
She's pat her on the back.
17-year
She's like,
let's try this 17-year-old girl who works in. Maybe she knows some northern. Do you call her over? I mean, she's the only other one here.
she's just been watching you two, like, the side of the bar, like,
What the hell are they
it's not
doing?
terrible.
Yeah, does she? Does she understand? Can she play translator?
She says she knows a little bit of Nordenwald, but she says this woman barely does.
She's not speaking Nordenwald either.
No, she's not.
Alright, time to do the Rage Slam. Yeah, let's screw whatever the hell common is here. Screw Bollock and go straight for the Wormish. Fuck.
Let's try Wormish. You speak dragon.
No, literally just the anger degrades into speaking Wormish.
Oh, you're just swearing, okay.
And slamming my hand on the table and freezing everyone's soup into a solid soupsicle. And then realizing I did that.
So she draws her sword and jumps back from you and yells no and starts trying to back out of the room. The 17-year-old girl has jumped down behind the bar.
Thaw the
She's
soup.
like peeking up over it, looking at you.
Thaw the soup. Dunk my bread in it one last time. Throw 2 more copper on the table. And walk out. Probably means I'm walking past the girl in red, but
Oh no, she's like leaving the building.
yeah, so am I. And
She
then
sees it before you though.
Being fed apples.
She does actually go outside and see her own horse being fed apples by a weird elf
Yeah.
with her sword drawn, and she spits a curse at you in some language and like gestures with her sword.
That was
Yes, there's
infuriating.
the rude human I know. I kind of sarcastically bow and move out
She
of the
jabs a sword at your chest as you try and bow towards her. She's very angry.
So then I'll back up more.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. She unties her horse and gets on it, spits on you, and rides away.
Is the treatment I've come to know.
Walk out a second later. So, how'd the horse go?
You probably did spitting, yeah.
Well, they come from the east. The horse was unclear on why.
West. They come from the west.
From the west?
I might have said east or something.
Nope,
I meant
you said
west.
west.
Good.
They come from the east.
I'm getting gaslighted. Come from the west, yeah.
The west. They come from the west. They're heading south, but the horse does not know why. And they're heading north and not heading home. But the horse does not know why. She seems to have come from a very well-off family.
You got more out of her than I did. Let's go see what Angus is up to.
Like slurping grubs.
You sit on the back of a wagon, you got a hat full of grubs,
Slugs.
munching away.
Having fun, Angus?
Got some reeds. Yeah. That would definitely miss the Scottish. Yes.
Yeah!
Great. Swedish chef now.
Have you done your business? You're ready to go now?
Yeah, I freaked her out. Next time she sees me, she'll probably kill me.
Oh, wonderful. Then it'll be my cart. Oh, didn't say that out loud, did I?
On that note, I think we should end the session here.
Now, Morgan, where can we find these beautiful maps?
Thank you very much, Jay. I was supposed to say that at the beginning as well, but we are using 2 maps and a chart of heraldry, which can be found on my DeviantArt Puck the Duck. I have a handful of poorly written short stories and choose your way adventures in the style of the fighting fantasy novels on there as well, which I encourage people to read if they are interested. That is DeviantArt Puck the Duck.
Thanks all for listening.
Yeah.
Please tell me you cut those.